All right, session 3, expense reports. We are that much closer to being able to hit the submit button and put money in the bank. Let's get to it. There's a lot of information in this training session. Okay, so here is my account. My landing page now shows that I have available expenses and 0 open reports. You can start a report from this tab. However, today we're going to use the expense tab to create the report because I want you to see the receipts. Okay, so in the available expense area, these are the receipts that we uploaded from the Concur mobile app, and then the receipt that I emailed my phone bill. I have I uploaded a couple of extra receipts also from the mobile app. The receipts down here are the receipts that we imported. Okay, so we need to create a new expense report. The report name will be your first and last name and your project number or fund number. The report date will be the date that you created the report. Business purpose is an optional field. You will want to use the comment for any instructions. Like, for example, I want this to be deposited into my USA account. Okay, now we're ready to create the report. And now we need to add expenses. So we'll click Add Expense. And the expenses that are shown are the available expenses. Now let me remind you of this. Go back. That is only the expenses that are listed here. The receipts that we imported, we do something different with those. We'll do that a little bit later. For right now, we're just going to be dealing with just the available expenses. Go back to the expense report. Add expense. And you can select which expenses you add to the report, or you can add all expenses. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to click this box beside payment type. It highlights all of the expenses. I'm going to add to report. Okay, so now they are here on my report. So now it's time to go into each line and correct the information if we need to, and just check it to make sure that it's right. Okay, so here on the expense type, if I need to change that expense type, click the drop down, and here are all the available expense types. Okay, so I want to change this to Ministry Events Outreach. Okay, if you notice here, it says save expense because I made a change. So every change that you make, you will need to resave the receipt. Okay, so we have the transaction date, the vendor description or the vendor name. Okay, I want to check my total. It's correct. Currency, and here is my project number. You also have the option of adding a comment to your receipts. Okay, so if I go up here and I hit Save Expense from this view, it's going to take me back to the list of expenses. Now, if you have a lot of receipts that you're dealing with, you could lose your place. This is how I like to do it. They have these arrows. You can click the next arrow, and when you get to the end of the receipt, the last receipt of the bunch, you can save expense then, and it will save all of the changes you've made on all of the receipts. So this one was correct. Let's hit next. Okay, now we have an international receipt. I uploaded this from the Concur mobile app because I wanted you to see what information it captures with the international receipt. Okay, so I need to change, it's not a bank ATM fee. It's actually a ministry to nationals. The transaction date, Concur captured the correct vendor name. Out of pocket, it captured the currency correctly. It's 500 shillings. And here you have the conversion rate, amount in US dollars, and your project number. If you need to change the currency, drop down. There you go. Okay, so everything looks correct on this receipt. Hit next. Okay, this is my phone bill. I definitely want to change the vendor description because I don't know what that was saying. Okay, so it's AT&T. Okay, and on a phone bill, I can be reimbursed for 70%. So I need to change this amount. So I've done the math, and I should be reimbursed for $82.58. And up here, I'm going to put 70%. Everything else looks correct. Next receipt. Okay, I'm just going to check my total. Expense type is correct. Next receipt. My expense type is correct. My vendor name is not. 3906, 3906. Everything else looks correct. Okay, so now I'm at the end of the receipts. So now I'm going to hit Save Expense, and it's going to save all my changes, all the changes I've made on the other receipts. And you can scan down through here to see. See, it took my 70% of AT&T, changed Kroger, so we're good there. Okay, so this is all of the available expenses. But now I need to do something with the receipts that we imported. So how you do that, you go to Add Expense. And if you'll notice, we have no more available expenses. Now we're on Create a New Expense. Okay, since you're not looking at your receipt that you have imported, just choose any, let's just choose ministry mail. May not be a ministry mail, but we just need to get to this page. Okay, so over here you'll want to click Attach Receipt Image, and it brings up all of our imported receipts. Now here's where this labeling your receipts, the receipt preparation, comes in handy. I want to attach Walmart. Okay, look down here. Walmart 8301, and the date's 9/30. Okay, so the expense type is, let's just say it is a ministry mail. My transaction date should be 9/30. Vendor description, Walmart. Out of pocket. Now if I need to look at the receipt, you can click the plus sign and it will zoom in for you. But if you prepare them properly, you'll have all your information right here. So I'm going to go with 8301. Everything else looks correct. But I know I have more receipts, so I'm not going to save expense. I'm going to hit save and add another. Okay, from here, I can click attach receipt image, choose another receipt. Then I can choose the correct expense type. Correct my date, 8/26. Publix, and I'm getting all this information from here. Out of pocket, my amount is $36.41. Okay, everything's correct. Save and add another. Attach receipt image. It's my Starbucks receipt. Starbucks, $2.90 on 8/24. Choose my expense type. Vendor description. My amount, $2.90. All right, so I know that's all my expenses, the receipts I need to attach. So now I can save expense, and then we'll add them to my expense report. Here they are. Okay, there's another type of expense that you can add, and that is, I'm going to go to add expense, USA mileage. Okay, and the way this is done, cross out of this, we will still use the travel expense report. If you need a copy of this, you can go to My Global and download a copy. So I have filled my expense report out. I have totaled the miles, 164 miles. And I've taken a picture of it, and here's why. Concur, you cannot attach an Excel spreadsheet as a receipt. So what I had to do, I had to take a picture of my expense report. And now, because it will be considered as your receipt. All right, let me just show you how this works. All right, so we're going to add expense, travel USA mileage. And then you have to fill in this information. I'm going to choose a different date. No, I don't want August. Business purpose is not required. Okay, for location, we know that on that expense report, there's going to be many locations. Just choose 2 locations. This is, I wish we could make it not required, but Concur requires it. So I'm just going to put Pontotoc, Tupelo. Out of pocket, my project number, and then I have figured out my distance, and it was 164 miles total. I'm going to enter that there, tab, and it calculates it for me. Okay, so you're going to save expense, and we have an alert. Okay, so right here, you click on the alert, and it says you must attach a receipt image to this expense. Okay, so what I need to do, I have not imported that receipt yet. It's on my computer. I'm going to go to expense. I'm going to upload receipt image, and I have saved it right here under mileage. Okay. I'm going to go back to my expense report. Go to my Travel USA mileage to add the receipt. And there it is. I'm going to attach. And it took the alert off. Okay, so we have all of our receipts on our expense report. What if this receipt, just say you have a receipt that you need to remove. You click in that box. Don't delete. You never want to delete it from the expense report. You want to move. You can either move it to a new report, or you can remove it. You can move it back to available expenses. And it will go back into your available receipts. Okay, now all of your receipts are attached or in your expense report. If you're ready to submit, you absolutely can. Or if you want to collect more receipts and just add to this report, you absolutely can. Once you are ready, say we're ready to submit. There are a few things you need to do, because you may collect receipts for the entire month from the day that you created the report. So things may have changed. So before you submit, every time before you submit your report, you will go to Report Details, and you'll click on your report header, and that's where we first created the report. Okay, so the date may have changed. If I had created this report on October 1st, today's the 24th, I'm ready to submit it, I would need to change this to the date that I'm submitting the report. Also, you may want the amount split between two different bank accounts. You may now want half of it sent to your foreign bank account. So just make sure all of this is updated on the day that you actually submit your report. Okay, so nothing's changed. We're going to hit save. Also, let me say this on the report header. Never enter actual banking account information in this box. Always email that to Marla, and we'll take care of that from in here. We never want that kind of information in this comment box. Okay, so I think we're ready to submit. We're going to submit report. It shows you your total. You have one more chance to cancel out of it, but we're going to go ahead and hit submit. There you go, report submitted. Close, and now it has changed to submitted, approved, and in accounting review, it has not been paid. But what if you meant to put, you're like, oh no, I forgot something. I forgot to add this receipt. As long as it is in the approval, as long as it shows approved and in accounting not paid, you can go into the report and you can recall the report. So let's recall it. It's going to ask you, are you sure? Yes. And now you can continue to make changes. You can add that receipt. If you realize you made an error, you can, fix the error and then resubmit. Okay, I know that was a lot of information. I know there will be lots of questions, lots of different scenarios, but this is the basics. So the next training session, I will go over if you have multiple project numbers that you get reimbursed for, there's a different way to do that. So I will see you in the next video.